I wanted to talk to you today about the tsunami of diet culture messaging that we are going to get from the 26th of December onwards. You might even be getting it sooner. And how to cope with that on the 26th, from the 26th of December. You will start to hear mass media messaging and the whole New Year, New You messaging. You've probably heard it before, where it's all about how everything that we've, we haven't been doing it properly before. But this year, we're going to change because we've been failing at diets and failing at our body. And this year, we're going to try a whole new diet and a whole new change. Now, you'll hear this message from lots of people, and you might be thinking, well, I failed every time in the past, but a diet. We'll unpack that in a minute. But actually, this diet might just be the one that's going to make me change my body shape, make me happy, and then everything in my life will slot into place. I mean, that's what it's selling to you, basically. But actually, really, if you think back to what's gone on in the past, and if things haven't been working out for you, this is not actually your fault. This is the fact that what you've been sold time after time after time is failing you, not the other way around. But just because of the way that we're taught to talk to ourselves, to think about ourselves. We are over Christmas, we are sort of said, it's the time to indulge, it's the only time. Many of my clients I know that have said, come January, it's really very much associated with them as a time of deprivation. But actually, if we were able to think in a different way, we would be much more balanced overall. Why is it that we have to make resolutions in the new year to change our exercise and change our body shape and do these kind of change in behaviours? We can reflect and change on health behaviours and improve health behaviours any time of the year. But what's key here is how we're talking to ourselves, how we're thinking about ourselves. Are we giving ourselves compassion, or are we just continuously beating ourselves up? I think it's estimated that around up to 50% of New Year's resolutions fail within the first 2 weeks. So you can be excused if you found that that's happened to you. It's just normal. So why don't we scrap New Year's resolutions and scrap new diets in the new year and start to think in a different way? What is it that you're really wanting? What is it that, if you took diet and exercise as kind of goals, New Year goals, out of the equation, what is it that you really want from your life? What is it that you really need from your life? And start to think about it like that. I'm not saying don't do healthful behaviours, but I think if you start by working on that relationship within yourself and treating yourself with compassion, I've spoken about this before in videos, in a number of videos, but if you do that, you are far more likely to start looking after yourself and enjoying the sort of healthful behaviours, and then not rebelling against them or sabotaging yourself at a later date because you feel like this is your only choice, and you're kind of hating yourself or hating your body into doing it. So it's a very different approach, really. So I think it's really important to remember what's happened in the past and think, right, if I carry on doing the same things, I'm going to get the same results. Having that awareness about mass media and diet culture messaging and all the narrative that's around everywhere around you, just having that awareness this time. Notice when it comes up. That's the key, actually, to just start noticing that. And start to think about how you can talk to yourself in a different way, and think about what is it that you really want to focus on. Because I think many people see that sort of losing the weight and going down dress sizes or whatever is their key to all the happiness in their life, to all the confidence in their life, to everything being better. When in fact we actually know from we know from research, I know from speaking to clients that actually when you really think about it, and if they've been at a lower weight in the past, it's not necessarily about being at a lower weight has made them happy. It's maybe been a coincidence that other things have been going right for them in their lives, or maybe they weren't really happy. They might have forgotten that actually through rose-tinted glasses they might have been happy, but were they really? And that's something that I've asked before you to think about. So actually what is it that's going to make you happy? And I am guilty of using the New Year, New You in the past. When I was a nutritionist, just a more general nutritionist, before I specialised, before I started doing specialist training in this area and working with clients more on emotional eating, I did little programs, and they weren't diets, they were sort of healthy eating programs. But I remember calling one, in January, doing one in January, and it was New Year, New You. So I kind of bought into that as well. And you don't need to change you. You just need to start embracing you and finding out what is it that you really want and need.